episode 13, War of the Robins, because, Robin War and all.
Yep.
Which came out last week, but there's a lot of tie-ins this week.
A lot of tie-ins coming out this week. Grayson, Gotham Academy.
Red Hood and Arsenal.
Yeah, Red Hood and Arsenal. You got 3, yeah.
At least 3, and as we go through them, we might notice another. But Detective Comics this time too.
Detective Comics. So 4.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Because even though it's the Robin War episode, I figured the featured comic ought to be Secret Wars.
Yeah, finally issue number 8.
And I kind of flipped through the last issue last night just because I was like, I better refresh myself. Because every time we do a video, I'm like, what happened in that issue? Because I've read 20 comics since then. But I remember it as I was flipping through. It's like everybody's kind of lining everything up to go at Doom. You got Namor and Black Panther went and got all the zombies, the Marvel zombies. And then Reed Richards is gearing up. So everybody's ready to get ready to take down Doom.
Yeah, I mean, issue 8 was originally supposed to be the last issue, so everything really should be kind of coming to an end for Doom in this issue. And then I guess issue 9, unless they, with issue 9, I don't know if they decided they had to put that up because they just couldn't wrap it up in issue 8.
Maybe there's just so much battle in issue 8 that we need
I think that's what we're going to see.
9 to get the...
9's going to be the aftermath and the wrap-up, I think.
Yeah. I'm excited because, after I read the last issue, I was like, it was good, but it wasn't great. And then I was flipping through, I was like, oh man, a lot of stuff happened in this issue. It was a really good issue.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty psyched about it. It's coming to an end. It's been a great story. Hickman's knocked it out of the park on this. Definitely Secret Wars outshined Convergence. But if you look at it, Secret Wars took its time, which it's fault too. But at the end, it's a better story. It's better to take your time and get in a rush and then do not as good of a story.
Right.
Convergence catches a lot of crap. It's not that bad of a story.
I don't think it's that bad either, but I think Marvel was smarter with Secret Wars. As far as, they did take their time. And I think maybe with Convergence, if DC had did the same thing, it may have made for a better story.
Yeah,
It seemed like it was what it was. Like, there was rumors going around that the purpose that they were doing Convergence was to just fill-ins while they made their move to California, and then they confirmed it. Then after you read it, you're kind of like, I can see that.
Kind of tell. I mean, not that it was bad, because a lot of the tie-ins were really good.
Tie-ins were the best part of it.
The Flash and Booster Gold and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, the tie-ins.
There's a lot of good stuff in there. Superman.
Superman. Yeah.
And there's some really good stuff in there. And of course, some of that's carried over to Titans on Lois and Clark.
Yeah, which is cool. I'm glad that they're actually, doing something with it. They didn't just do the story.
I love Titans on it, man. That is an awesome comic. Who cares about Teen Titans?
Superman, Lois and Clark.
Yeah,
that
last issue was awesome.
Yeah.
But all it says in the solicit for Secret Wars 8 is just Genesis. That's all it said. Genesis. And
it's a very brief description.
I know. And it showed a picture of the Thing throwing down.
Mm-hmm.
So the Thing is going to be opening up a can of whoop. He's going to whoop.
Is that
he's going to open up some whoop.
A
little whoop ass. Well, I mean, we say kick ass.
A little bit of whoopee.
Somebody bought kick ass. We don't have kick ass anymore, but we did. We might again. Who knows? Moving on. Marvel Comics, since we're talking Secret Wars. We have all new Hawkeye #2 coming out. This is the one I'm really excited about. Amazing Spider-Man #4.
I'm excited about it. Really curious to see who this person is masquerading as Goblin, or part of the Goblin family.
The Goblin family.
Anytime there's goblins involved in Spider-Man, it's gonna see some action.
He's like Spidey's Joker.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, essentially.
I mean, there's so many things about Spider-Man lately that's mirrored Batman and vice versa too.
Right.
The current Batman story, but
yeah, like the whole Batman Incorporated. Yeah.
It's Spidey Inc. This is the comic that of course Secret Wars, that their main titles like Spider-Man has been awesome, and I was very critical going in, but love this comic. Will not be dropping that anytime soon. Black Knight number 2, Contest of Champions number 3.
Mhm.
We got Deadpool number 3, and it says more Deadpool than you wanted. I will say of all the 92 covers, this particular 92 cover is pretty cool. Anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy number 3, Gamora's back.
Oh, cool.
Nobody knows where she's been either.
So that's kind of the mystery going on right now
And
in
the-
that book.
Yeah, because it's like, it seems like it picks up from where it left off, because I know at the end, Peter Quill became emperor of his dad's planet.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so Kitty stepped up as whatever, Star Kitty,
Star Kitty.
whatever she is on there. She wears his mask and stuff. But Gamora was missing, and that's the part I'm confused about. That might be a carryover from Secret Wars. I don't know, because a lot of the Secret Wars titles are kind of standalone stories.
We need Secret Wars to tie up, so I think that would. I think that a lot of these books were meant to come out after
Mm-hmm.
the fact. So
Some of Gwenpool Special number 1. It's a holiday thing,
oh, okay.
and Gwenpool comes from the Howard the Duck thing.
I was wondering. They did those Spidey Gwen variants
Mm-hmm.
one month, and I know for like one of them, it was probably Deadpool's book, I'm sure. Had the Spider Gwen, and people just went crazy about it. I figured that's where it came from.
Hercules number 2, Dan Abnett. I'm
You know, at
not
some
a Hercules
point-
fan though, so I just
I'm not either, but you know, when I think about Wonder Woman and you know, like other superheroes like that, you know, I kind of want to check it out.
I'm one of those people when I look at the writer, I'm like, man, I don't really care for that character.
But Dan Abnett, that's
it's like Moon Knight. I'm
um,
so not a Moon Knight fan, but Warren Ellis wrote a run of it, and I kind of want to read it because
Clay
Warren Ellis wrote
Mann
it.
is doing the covers, and then the interior artist, can't think of his name.
He's good though. I really
He's
like his work.
good. He's really good.
It looks like the old Hercules, but better.
Yeah.
Because the 80s Hercules was actually some really good art. I can't recall who was doing it then either. Max Rider Ultimate Flight number 2 out of 5 is coming out. Scarlet Witch number 1. This is probably one of the number 1s that I think's the coolest.
Looking at the interior artwork for that, because it showed you a little preview in the solicitations, I almost want to check out just based off that.
Who's writing it?
Now that I don't
Oh.
know.
Let's see. David Aja, yeah, I did that. He did the
Aja.
Immortal Iron Fist, and his work is killer. And he did some stuff with Fraction on
Who's the
Hawkeye.
artist on it? I'm really curious about that because it was a really
Vanessa Del Rey.
Okay, Vanessa Del Rey. Okay,
And James Robinson is the writer, so that's going to be good.
yeah,
James Robinson's usually always good. Even his bad stories are like
James
just
Robinson.
Good.
That's who it is.
Spider-Gwen number 3. We're just talking about Gwen Stacy.
That's a great book.
Jason Latour
Jason Latour, yeah.
writing rather than drawing.
Give him a lot of props for it. I like the artwork too. But that's a really good book. I would definitely check it out.
Speaking of really good books, you know what the next one is?
Spider-Man 2099.
I never really cared much for that character, but Peter David's writing it. And enough said. Peter enough said David.
There you go. Peter
we got
Enough Said
another
David.
one. We got
That's a
Grant
good one.
Morrison, we got Jason Aaron, and we got Peter David. Peter enough said David.
Setting them up, knocking them down.
Yeah. I know Peter David mostly from when I was probably middle school to high school reading the Hulk.
Yeah.
And I didn't read his whole run. Like, I think somewhere around Planet Hulk I dipped off.
Yeah.
And the Maestro stuff.
See, I wasn't reading Hulk back in the day. I was more like Punisher and Batman, Superman. My first introduction was actually Secret Wars, the Future Imperfect Time.
Man, that was so good.
And I loved that book, and that's probably the main reason I jumped on Spider-Man 2099 and gave that a chance, and I'm glad I did.
Peter enough said David. I mean, he's just that good. Actually, I found some old Supergirl issues from like late 90s.
Yeah.
It's Peter David and Gary Frank. And
Gary Frank.
Yeah, that's a hell of a team there. We need to come up with a name for Gary Frank. Star Wars Annual. They're putting out an annual now.
That's gonna, I believe, be a tie-in with Vader Down, isn't it? Or is that a standalone?
I think it's a standalone. I don't even know if Jason Aaron's right. It didn't say who was writing it when I looked at it. Because I actually looked for that. We're also getting the Star Wars movie sampler in.
Yeah.
Just basically just previews of all the different Star Wars books.
Come in and get them, guys, because I just checked out the shipment and we've got a box full of them. So we have plenty. You want one? I mean, they're free, I believe.
They're free.
They're free.
They're free.
It's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars.
Free Star Wars stuff.
Free Star Wars stuff. Star Wars movie coming out. Star Wars everything. See this? Star Wars. I'm wearing the
Star
Empire
Wars
Strikes
shirt.
Back shirt, man.
It's
Because it's
awesome.
Star Wars time. It's between that and Claws now. Waiting for that issue. Ultimate's #2. I haven't read it. Don't know much about it.
Heard it's really good.
Heard a lot of good things. I'm just being honest. I'm a little biased to. I'm biased to the things that I like. I
Yeah.
can't help it. It's not a bad thing. Uncanny Avengers #3. This one I'm actually thinking about checking out. Did you see the cover?
Cable's on the cover.
Cable, and I talked about this when the annual came out because I flipped to the end of the annual and looked. Cable joining the Avengers when Deadpool's on there.
Now, I think that is a pretty smart move because that gets guys like you and me interested.
Yeah, because I mean, not only is Steve Rogers running the team, he picked Deadpool to be on his team, which was like, what? And now it's like, oh, Cable's going to join. Well, this isn't going to go too well.
No, it's not.
That's like Rebels #9 coming out for Dark Horse, a pretty cool thing. Kind of takes place in Revolutionary War across the Ohio River Valley, which kind of hits a little close to home there.
That's pretty cool.
Brian Wood's writing it, which is it's cool because there's so many writers that have their little underlings. Brian Wood would be under Warren Ellis, Sterling Gates, and Jeff Johns, Mark Millar, Grant Morrison.
Right. James
Joshua
Tinian
Williams.
under Scott Snyder.
Yeah, yeah. There's others that we could go on and on with that, but yeah, Brian Wood. I mean, you know, if you're working under Warren Ellis, you got to learn something, right?
Yeah.
That dude is awesome. James Bond #2. If you didn't read it, you should have read it. So very good, very good. Can't say anything wrong about it. We'll talk about Warren Ellis again. Back to the Future #3 or 4. It's almost over.
Yeah, almost over.
Been reading
2
the
more
whole thing?
issues. You know, I haven't read 2 yet. I was really impressed by #1. You know, Marvel's getting me with all these #1s they're putting out because I'm wanting to check out everything. So it's like where I'm normally, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna read this week first. It's like, oh, Marvel just put out this, and I heard it's really good. I'm gonna read this stack of Marvel stuff.
What's funny,
first.
like the first 2 books I read last week were James Bond #2
Yeah.
and Daredevil #1.
See, that was kind of different. Even though I love Back to the Future and I love that first issue, and I'm getting around to reading the second one, I recommend picking it up. It's a great book. Even if you're not a huge comic book fan, you have a love for the movies.
I love those movies.
You'll be entertained by the comic.
You couldn't go wrong with it, really, if you're a Back to the Future
No.
fan. Since we're on IDW, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero 221, this is Aaron's pick of books that he really liked to jump back on.
This is
Just
part
haven't
3
gotten-
of the story they're doing right now. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I think we've got like 2 long boxes of back issues of that Marvel G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
I'm kind of collecting them all, trying to see what all we have. And yeah, 2 boxes of just Marvel G.I. Joe. That was good stuff, man. Good
Should be
stuff.
seen in the store soon.
Should be, and I'm probably gonna pick one up. Star Trek #52 is yet another book. I keep trying to encourage people to get a Star Trek. It's an independent comic. Come on, well, come in here and be like, where's your Star Trek? We'll get you some Star Trek. I feel bad that it's not on the shelf. It bugs me.
I think it was at first.
Yeah, but you know, of course, in the beginning, not as many people knew. Some of you still may not know we're selling comics. We're selling comics, by the way. If you're watching this video, you probably already know. Star Trek Green Lantern #6.
We just like to
Six.
talk about comics, and we happen to work at this store here.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little thing.
Yeah.
It's the last of the Star Trek Green Lantern things, which is another thing nobody picked up and kind of like, what? But
I heard some things about it, but you know, I don't think you should always, you know, go by what you hear on things. You gotta find out for yourself.
yeah, I think it's a pretty cool concept, Green Lantern.
It
Star
is a
Trek.
cool concept.
Moving on to Image, Birthright #12. Major plot point. Major. It's got a variant from Benjamin Dewey from the Autumn Lands. Major new character introduced. Secret identity revealed of existing character.
Whoa, I need to get caught up on Birthright.
That sounds like it's pretty major.
Yeah, and the way Joshua Williamson has been writing this book, there's a lot of those twists, and they're not just, like, they're not predictable. I mean, obviously, they're a twist, but they're not one of those twists that are just, like, it's subtle. It's like a big thing. It actually dictates in what direction the story's going.
Are you saying it's like Robert Kirkman style twist?
Yeah, it's Robert Kirkman style.
Very good at that kind of twist.
It's that style.
Like I didn't see that.
It's a twist that has a pretty big impact on the story.
We'll be talking about that again here in a second. Trees number 13. Yet another book that I wish I'd jumped on and read because it's Warren Ellis. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. The concept is crazy interesting, but then again, it's Warren Ellis. You got Morrison, you got Ellis, and if one of them didn't come up with some crazy out-of-the-world idea, the other one will. Trees. But it's on number 13. Terrible machines have been set in motion, so I don't know what that means, but it sounds like it was probably pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's only
trade paperbacks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
1 and 2's out.
I don't know if we've come up with the right name for Warren Ellis yet. I've heard a few things that.
I think I threw one out there, and I don't even remember what it was, so it probably wasn't that great.
It's just not sticking yet, but we've got 3 so far.
Yeah.
The Peter David one just hit. Enough said.
Yeah.
Walking Dead number 149. This issue intrigues me. I really wish I was caught up because I saw the cover and I'm like, so. Spoiler alert! If you haven't caught up, you might want to turn off now.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't a surprise to me because I read the last issue and also have seen what's been leading up to this. Rick is actually in a position now he doesn't know what to do. The communities are in chaos because they want to go to war with the Whispers. Rick doesn't want to go that route with it.
Sounds like a bad idea from what I've heard about the Whispers.
He's at a crossroads, so what does he do?
He's got Negan!
He pays a little visit to Negan.
Negan! That is craziness.
I'm sorry, I'm one of those people. I love that character.
I'm actually excited about it. I mean, this is the thing that's like, oh man, I really need to jump back in because he's like Samuel Jackson is to Quentin Tarantino dialogue. Like Robert Kirkman, I don't know. You can tell he's getting cathartic with Negan's like. What phrase of cuss words do
I just don't see how they're gonna.
It's like potpourri.
They're gonna have to water down that character on the show.
I know that's. I fell off of the show early just because I don't know. I got so into the comic and it's just as cool as the show is, and it's cool just because I'm saying I fell off of it doesn't mean I'm like almighty. My opinion matters more than me. It's a good show. I'm just.
The show's really good. The comic's better. I mean,
exactly.
Honestly, coming from a guy that loves both. I'd definitely say the comic book's
I'm just
better.
not buying issue by issue because it's like, I don't know, it's easier to consume when you read it in a trade, I think.
That's true.
Written in that format. The best comic company of all, DC Comics. Even if they're not really, this is not, it's not the worst time period by any means. I've seen much worse, but in comparison, they're not really putting out as good as I think they were in the New 52, and I know that is just such a terrible thing to say. I just said New 52, but it was good. Especially in the beginning, it was really good.
They're not booming like they were when they started the New 52, but, I see Marvel and DC kind of go back and forth with that.
A lot, yeah. Marvel's catching that wave that DC caught
I think
in
anytime
2011.
A publisher does some kind of reboot, you're going to see more readers because you're going to have a lot of new readers say, I didn't jump on before, there was too much going on, but now I can start fresh with what's going on now. It's a smart decision.
No matter what the number says on DC, jump on it. Jump on it.
They have some great books. Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that's actually on this list, and we'll be getting to that. Batman number 47 comes in first, though. Yeah. Jim Gordon's fighting Mr. Bloom. And Bruce is about to discover a shocking secret about his past. And
this is where it's all starting.
Yeah, the whole thing of Bruce.
Bruce is
getting his memory back.
And hopefully we'll be seeing him taking
what's super cool about this issue, right?
Alex
Variant.
Ross
Alex
variant,
Ross variant cover.
the Harley Quinn little black book, Holly bag. Variants, Batman, the artist for that one, the cover artist is Alex Ross. You get 3 different covers. You get the pencils, inks, and then the finish, the colors.
I hope I get the master. Hope. I don't care though. It's Alex Ross.
I ordered quite a few, and I'm kind of thinking about grabbing 2.
Just to try and get the one you want. I had the Harley's little black book, and then a customer called, and I just bought it, looking for it, and I was like, oh. So I traded it in so they could get it. So, Batman and Robin Eternal number 10. What do you got to say about Batman and Robin Eternal? Oh my God. Did you catch up?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm caught up. I wasn't really behind. I was like, it's a weekly title, so I was like 2 issues behind. But yeah, this whole thing going back with Bruce and Mother, and that horror deal, and her finding out, being a step ahead of him, and knowing that she had put a tracer on her and had Dick or Robin at the time, knowing his identity and everything, just being a step ahead of him, was kind of like, wow, that's really interesting. This character is really interesting.
I wonder what Robin that she's, was trying
That's
to
another
hint
thing
at
that is,
creating.
it's like, what Robin is it? Like, Tim Drake, to me, has been acting a little bit fishy.
Yeah, he's been acting that odd. There's some cool news in this, but I think we're going to save it till we hit Grayson. And yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about too. Batman Superman number 27, Vandal Savage, and he's been appearing in action too. That he's behind the whole the Shadow things. You'd
Yeah.
think it was Shadow Thief, but it's not Shadow Thief. They call him Wrath.
Yeah,
It's
Raph.
similar to Shadow Thief, but different because it like feeds on the darkness.
Yeah.
Very cool story. Vandal Savage is one of my favorite villains. Not my favorite villain, but one of my... And yet again, Bill, another cool DC villain.
Oh yeah.
I'm just rocking them up. I want to hear
Vandal
it.
Savage.
You can't put down Vandal
How
Savage.
can you? I mean, he's been around. He's like a god.
He's the freaking smartest, longest living caveman ever.
Yep.
So, you were talking about this a minute ago. The other IDW DC crossover, which this one's, I think, is going to be bigger. Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
This one's definitely gonna be bigger. Not knocking Green Lantern or Star Trek at all, but
But it's got Batman in it.
it's Batman. It's like DC's top selling character with IDW's top selling characters. And myself personally, I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Grew up on that. Grew up on Batman. Love Batman. So I'm especially looking forward to this. I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
Catwoman number 47, Constantine the Hellblazer number 7. Please get a new writer, a new artist on that. Dark Knight 3, The Master Race number 1 of 8, Collector's Edition,
Collector's Edition.
which we saw a minute ago. Looks super, super
It's
cool.
pretty sweet. It's not what I was expecting.
I don't
It's
even
it's
think-
better than what
it's like-
I was expecting.
It's like
no,
this kind of thing.
It's like that. It's actually like a hardcover
But except
graphic
it's not
novel.
the Avengers, it's Batman.
And I believe the cover is a sketch cover by Jim Lee.
DC Comics Bombshells number 6. You know, if you like the Bombshell covers, you should check that out. Detective Comics number 47, Robin Moore Locked Up, Robin Moore Part 3. GCPD cracks down on the Robins. Batman must choose sides. The mysterious Court of Owls stands behind it and pulling the strings. Now, spoiler alert, if you read Robin Wars, it's pretty interesting because the councilwoman that pushed all this, the anti-Robin laws, was actually working for the Court of Owls. So that makes that ups the ante a little bit, I think.
It does.
And then, you know, you got Damian showing up like, what the heck is everybody doing dressed up like Robin? I'm going to kick all of your butts.
That was pretty awesome, actually.
That was like my favorite part, is just Damian
Oh, yeah.
being his mouthy self.
Fought Jim Gordon's Batman too. That was pretty awesome. He
Yeah.
outsmarted him.
Yeah, Jim, as cool as you are, should
Very
know
end
better.
of that though.
We're getting close.
You know,
We're on
I think
E.
I actually even said it at one point that I think that this whole like Batman and Robin Eternal and the Robin War
Might
is
make a
something
certain character.
yeah.
A certain character.
You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. Earth 2
Some
Society
of you
number
probably
7's coming
speculate
out.
the same thing.
You read some of Earth 2 Society. didn't you?
I've read all of it up to the last issue, and I really was liking it. I really can't think of any complaints I had about it. It's just one of those issues of I'm reading too much stuff. I've got to drop something somewhere.
It's like the Marvel thing right now.
And
where
with everything that I'm reading, I feel like everything I'm reading right now is just that good that, I mean, I even have to drop some of the good titles.
Yeah, it happens. I don't know if I'm going to get any more Aquaman either. Even though
There's
it's
some
good.
interesting stuff with Jimmy Olsen in Earth 2
Really?
Society going on.
I was curious about some of the Grayson stuff too.
Oh, that too.
Gotham Academy number 13 is a tie-in to Robin War. And since we're in the G's, Grayson number 15. Grayson versus the Court of Owls. It's part 2 of the Robin War story. The Robin's running wild in the street. Grayson's taking on the Court of Owls. Plus, he's got the whole Spiral thing going on. And the big thing that we're hinting to from the issue, turn this off if you have not read Robin Wars. Right now, turn it off. Turn it off. Okay. Nightwing.
Yep.
I've been just going on about how I miss Nightwing. I love the Grayson comic, but it's just not the same.
It's great. I love the comic, but at the same time, I've been itching to have Grayson back as Nightwing. And at the end,
The last page,
the very last
the
page,
middle of the Court of Owls table.
there's the
is-
Nightwing mask.
Yeah.
And what did he say? He said, "Time
Time to bring back.
to bring back Nightwing."
Yeah. Green Arrow number 47, The Day of the Dead, is here. And because of Tarantula's betrayal.
I'm just ready for him to get back on the story that they started with the annual.
Yeah, that's actually coming up.
I think that's
think,
after this issue.
Yeah, after this issue. Well, what's interesting is Tarantula's in this issue.
Yeah.
Has been in this story.
Yeah.
Tarantula's really, I know her from the Nightwing run with, it was either, I think it was Grayson. Grayson writing Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
And that story where they killed Blockbuster. And he was
Oh,
trying to
okay.
hide it from Bruce. And it
Yeah.
was like him and Tarantula. And then she ended up part of the
I know what you're talking about.
That
and that
war.
bugs me. Yeah. Wow.
War Games.
War
War
Games.
Games.
There you go.
Duh. That was actually one of the first Batman stories I jumped back in on. This is another interesting issue. DC's just knocking out of the park. See, that's why they're the best. They might slack a little here and there, but this week, chock full of good DC. Justice League Darkseid War, Lex Luthor one shot.
That's gonna be cool.
Another spoiler alert, turn it off. If you haven't read it, turn it off. Right now. Okay. He's the god of apocalypse now. He's essentially Darkseid. Luthor. I mean, bad enough you got Darkseid, and then you have Luthor, but now it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
That spells big trouble.
Probably a little bit worse.
Yeah, especially considering all the Justice League now is all caught up in the whole, we're gods, and that Batman's gone way off the reservation.
Yeah.
Way off.
Every one of these one shots has been awesome.
Yeah, very good. Shazam was probably my favorite one.
Yeah, Shazam's really good. Superman's, I don't know. It's between Batman and Superman for me.
Yeah. As usual, it's always between Batman and Superman. I
Pretty
don't
much.
care what you all say. Task Force, New Suicide Squad number 15, Task Force X mission to destroy the cartel has come completely unraveled. Plus, there's this big conspiracy against Amanda Waller, and Black Manta seems to be all up for taking out Amanda Waller. For Vic Sage, and this is another thing with this particular run, is what's up with the Vic Sage character?
Yeah, they seem to be putting the spotlight on him.
Yeah, he's not the question that we can tell, but there's
As of
definitely something
now.
Yeah. He's a government lackey, which really makes me think it's not the question, but maybe that's the point, to make me think it's not the question. Because he hasn't really been around since Convergence.
No, not at all.
Maybe they were like, oh, this is kind of cool, but we could do a lot better. It was kind of cool what they did with the Trinity thing, but
Yeah.
I liked it. This one thing I liked the original better, and the Teen Titans. Red Hood and Arsenal number 7. It's a Robin Moore tie-in. They're back in Gotham, and of course tensions are high. Of course. Red Hood has really stood out as a really cool character lately. He just
What in it was Superman, I think. But he was trying to convince Superman to just kill Vandal Savage.
yeah, it was pretty funny.
And he was kind of kidding, but like Superman, he was kind of not. I mean, he was making some good points in his reasoning why they should just kill him. But it's kind of funny because Superman was actually considering it.
Yeah. I don't know, Superman's had an interesting arc as of late.
Yeah, he's at a breaking point.
Starfire number 7, Telos number 3, and this just deserves a mentioning for the kiddos out there. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You number 64. I mean, come on. Scooby-Doo.
I want to bust out and start singing the theme song right now, but I'm not going to do that.
You know, Matthew Sweet did a really good cover of that. There was a
Really?
period where a bunch of cartoon songs got covered. Matthew Sweet covered Scooby-Doo. The Ramones did Spider-Man.
Cool.
That's where the Ramones first did the Spider-Man song. Was on that. So, there you go. Next is we're going to have to take a little break, especially since I left the comics in the back. So, but when we come back, we're going to have From the Vault.
And now, it's time for...
We're back, and this is the From the Vault section. Funny thing, I'm going to admit to my mistake, because we're not perfect, and we make mistakes. Well, I do. This is all on me. Can't blame Josh. This is all I'm doing. I happen to make a new Silver Age box, put a certain thing that we'll talk about next week now in that box, and then it just hit me. And
Looks like you got some cool stuff there,
I
though.
do. Some of it's cool, but it's reprint cool, but because of what it is, it's extra cool.
Yeah.
And then the one thing that
It's
I was
way more
saving for another,
appropriate, really.
it is definitely more appropriate. It's why I grabbed it. They're Toys R Us special replica edition reprints. So it's not the original, but despite that, it still holds a little bit, $5 value. That's cool. So here we have the reprint of the debut of Robin. Let's get it. Yeah, get close to that.
It's pretty awesome.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Sensational character find of 1940. So that tells you something. Dick Grayson has been here since 1940. That's why he should be as respected as Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman should be more
Oh,
respected. And if you watch the Superman versus Batman trailer, you know Wonder Woman's getting ready to get real on her asses. On Doomsdays too. Doomsday. I was even kind of like, I don't think they should do Doomsday so soon. Then I saw the trailer and was like, I don't care.
I don't care
Who
either.
cares, man? That just looks awesome. So this one's a reprint of the Mr. Freeze, which at the time he was Mr. Zero. So that's pretty cool. And here we have a reprint of the first appearance of Barbara Gordon Batgirl. And just a little tidbit, Barbara Gordon was not the first Batgirl. First was Catherine Kane as Batwoman.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of... It's the character in the Batwoman comic that was Plebe. She became Flamebird later on.
Oh, okay. I don't really recall
I cannot
that.
remember her name for some reason. Leave a comment. It's bad that I don't remember you, because usually I can just spit this stuff out, but when I need it, I don't have it. But she was the original Batgirl, because she was Catherine Kane's niece. And it was like a whole, like, Batman and Batwoman that would go out and fight crime together, like, as a date, and then Robin would hang out with her. And it was kind of, of course, comics at the time, but when the TV show came out, Barbara Gordon thing, so they eventually made Barbara Gordon the Batgirl in the comic. So, and that was the first issue. So the Vault comic is not old, because, technically these are reprints.
Cool nonetheless.
Very cool.
Inappropriate.
And, we talk about the New 52 a lot.
Yeah.
Things changed. The one story series ended, jumped to a new thing, people got upset, blah, blah, blah. The cool thing was when Superman ended, they had 2 issues. And there was Superman and Action Comics. Both where Kurt Swan drew forever, so he was still on it. But the writer was the interesting thing.
Yeah.
Alan Moore. Alan Moore did the last 2 issues of Superman that wrapped up what we know as
Whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Silver Age Superman wrapped up in this story. It's a great story. If you've never read it, it's collected in a trade. It's just 2 issues in there. But man, is it good, and we do have it. we have the Superman issue, number 423. This is, and you really can't get more cool than this. It's Alan Moore, Kurt Swan, and George Perez.
You don't see this book a whole lot.
No, I've actually never seen the actual comic. So that when I found it, I was like, oh my god!
Oh, I remember when you found
It's
it.
the Superman with Alan Moore. I'm a big Alan Moore fan. He's in my top 10 here.
Yeah.
And and as a person, I'm not a huge fan, but I love his writing.
Oh yeah.
This is one of the coolest. This is the first Superman graphic novel I got. Was this story.
Yeah.
So, of all, there's not too many Silver Age Supermans that we can put in from the vault because there's just not a whole lot of it, and what there is in bad shape. There's a whole lot of Marvel. We'll be talking about tons of Marvel. Pretty soon we're going to do a Fantastic Four one because I just found the mother load today. So, but yeah, this is awesome. Me being a Superman mark, I will totally mark out on this. And it's probably one of the coolest, in my opinion, the coolest ones we have. Just because it's Alan Moore and it's Superman and it's Kurt Swan. It's a great team. But so, this is the kind of stuff we get around here. And we'll be selling these reprints too. And they'll be cheap, much cheaper than it would be to buy the originals.
Oh yeah.
I'd almost be tempted to get this first, Detective 38 with Robin in it. And it's funny, 27 was the debut of Batman.
27 was the debut, and then 38 just 11 issues later.
I wonder if when we hit Detective 38 again, if there'll be a big deal about it, like some kind of Robin thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
There you have it. We've pretty well covered everything, I think.
Yeah.
Cool stuff that's coming out this week. You should come check it out.
Lots of cool stuff.
And of course, we say it all the time, we're going to say it again. If you get a file here, you get 5 or more, you get 25% off.
25% off here, 10% off on back issues at the Money Tree.
And that's super cool. I was just over at the Tree last week. There was lots of cool stuff. Even newer, older, you name it, it's there. We got some Silver Age comics out here at both places. You can find some Silver Age comics sitting out in the glass case, so
Some
you can
really
admire
cool
them.
stuff.
Very cool stuff. I've enjoyed going through it. It's like a kid in a candy store kind of thing. And hey, if you're getting comics somewhere else, we're not saying stop by in there. Cool, wherever you want to buy. We're just saying buy here too. The more the merrier. The more places that are
Support all your local businesses.
most definitely, and the more comic places there are around here, the better
The
it is
better.
for comic people. It's just a thing. Diamond doesn't always give us all of her issues.
Right.
And if one store doesn't get them all, the other one might,
Yeah.
So-
Sometimes you have to shop around, man.
The more comic places there are, the better it works out for the comic fan. So, and we're just here to try and do our best to give you what you need as a comic fan, to give you your fix. We're here to hook you up because we're comic pushers.
That's right.
So there you go. It's the end of the show. You guys have a good week and read lots of comics. Read more independent comics and just read more comics in general. I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
We're out of here.